Hello everyone, I hope everyone can hear me. I see a lot of people joining, just a couple of minutes, so we are 3 minutes early. Somebody just asked what is the topic, and we will try today to talk about two topics if we can. Based on the questions that we just got from you in the past week or so. So just allow us a couple of minutes, and we will be actually starting the event very soon. Just a couple of minutes for people because it's 9 o'clock right now. It's three minutes to 9. I actually see a lot of good friends are joining from different countries, different continents. Actually, I just saw people from Canada just joined. We have Egypt, we have Bahrain, we have Dubai. So far, the people I'm recognizing. And somebody, Sarah, is telling me to raise the voice, please. I'm not sure, is my voice good enough? Let me just try to. If anybody can just send me, Ahmed or Majdi, or just send me that you hear me well, because somebody just asked for the voice, for me to raise my voice. Okay, Muhammad. Thank you, Muhammad Osama. I said the voice is okay, boss. So now I know it's fine. Sound perfect, Majdi. Thank you. All right. Great to have you all. Just great. Thank you, Ahmed Hamdi. So there's a lot of good people. Mr. Maher Dada is joining as well from Jordan. That's fantastic. So we have Jordan on the map as well, and we have India. India is in as well. So it's great to have you all. Thank you so much for being here and joining the event. I see a lot of good faces and a lot of great friends from the past and the current, and some of my team on the call. So there's a lot of questions came up why I'm doing live and why I'm doing this now. As you probably all know, first of all, I apologize if anybody's joining and thought that the event would be in Arabic. And I actually was debating with a lot of you in the last few days, should I do it in Arabic or should I do it in English? And probably the majority is actually asked for English. And Muhammad Osama is telling me Oman is here too. So we have Oman on the call as well. So it's fantastic. We have all the GCC in. So the idea, lots of you said, please do it in English, not Arabic. So if somebody is joining and the English is a little bit difficult, what I do suggest is you can see that video and that live again on my page on Facebook, and I think you can translate it right there. So the KSA, Saudi just joined. Thank you. So the idea is every year I used to do 2-3 live events outside where we talk about different topics on leadership and business and different things. Obviously, because of Corona and COVID, we could not do that this year. And some of you actually have been sending me on my personal emails and through some of the WhatsApp and communication regarding what do I think about what's happening right now in the world, and how is this going to affect us in our business and on the personal life and all of this. And I really thought that would be a good topic to start the live event with. and talk about what's happening right now and my personal opinion on where this is going overall, where it's taking us for us and for the rest of the world as well. Let's talk a little bit about the business climate right now and what's happening in the world. Let's separate between two topics: the COVID-19 as a health issue and COVID-19 as economy issue. Obviously, we're not going to talk today about COVID-19 as health issue, even though I have my own personal opinion on what's happening in the world since March of last year. But let's talk about what COVID has done to the economy and to us and to businesses for the last probably 9 months. And that's very important for us to understand what's going on. If we look at the economy of the world overall, we're going to see that we're talking about the United States, all the way to Australia, to China, to the Middle East, to Africa, to everybody. And what we have seen in our business that since March until probably now is we have seen a huge decline in our business overall. It all depends what business are you in. So for the restaurant business, for example, we have seen huge decline versus last year, and that again different from one person to another and one business to another. But if you are in the commodity industry, for example, groceries, supermarkets, all of that, you're probably doing very well. And that's not just here, it's globally. They are running out of product. The people cannot even find toilet paper and necessity product. If you are in restaurant business, probably you are struggling, and it depends where, what country are you in. If we take a country like the United States and the Middle East, we find that people are indoors are struggling. People that they have delivery and online are probably doing better. If we go to a country like China, they actually, everything came back. They are back to normal. If you go to a country like Egypt, Egypt is back to normal because they never had what I call an actual lockdown. So if we see the impact of this on our business, it depends what country are you in, what business are you in. Airlines, obviously anybody's working in airlines right now is suffering big time, and we have seen a lot of layoffs in the last 6 months or 9 months. Specifically in big airlines. The small airlines, probably they do some domestic flights, they are surviving, but huge or big airlines like Emirates and big brands in the States, specifically for overseas flight, they are struggling big time. So what we have seen is the impact, the economic impact of COVID-19 is really drastic and is taking the business into a future that no one right now will know where this is going in any possible way, on the short term, on the long term. Now people start having some hopes about vaccines. Okay, but while vaccines is out, they will be out in March. People will take the vaccine, everything will be fine. And I really see this as not the case. I don't think the vaccine will do anything, because vaccine is a good step in the right direction, but vaccine is not the solution. Treatment is the solution. When they have a treatment for COVID-19, when you know you have corona or COVID-19 and you take the treatment and you will be good, then we can say that this is going in the right direction and business can go back to normal, people can start flying again, economy will start rising. But countries that realized that the lockdown is not good, and I take a great example of this is Egypt. Egypt right now, they never did an actual lockdown. Egypt projects has been going on for a long time, and everything is happening. Construction is happening. Restaurants are full, full traffic. They didn't do an actual lockdown, and as a result, today Egypt is the only country in the Middle East that has a GDP positive, 3.7%. They said 2020 will be a 3.7% positive GDP. And they are the only country that they will have GDP this year. So you take it or leave it, but this is really the sad reality about COVID-19. I'm not saying that Egypt, for example, did not understand the impact or the health impact of COVID-19, but this is something they realize if we do a full lockdown, the economy will suffer big time, and the consequences will be really bad. And they kind of tried to balance between this and that. If you look at the United States, what they actually did a lockdown, and they're going to do a lockdown again these days, we found that the economy is negative GDP this year, and they say 2021. So what should we do in the short term? In my humble assessment, 2021 will be a year that I don't believe it will have a huge progress from the status or the current situation we are in right now. I think 2021 will be a year to be written off from the history or from the calendar. Everybody now is talking about what's going to happen in 2022 in the first quarter and the second quarter. And this was my, long time ago in March, I said the same thing. I said, I don't think anything will happen unless we find a treatment and aviation and airlines and flights start going back again. You find a country like UAE, for example, they really dominantly based on tourism, and if the tourists stop coming or they don't start coming, then the economy will have a certain downfall from COVID-19. One of the things we start seeing, a lot of small businesses start to actually close down, which is really bad in a way when we think about it. I'm going to give you a great example for that. In this year, they are expecting about 200,000 restaurants to close in the United States. Now, if you take that percentage out of 800,000 restaurants exist today in the United States, you take 200,000 of that, that's 25% of the restaurant that exists today, between big chain restaurants and independent owners, operators restaurants, you will find that this is 25%. So the impact, it's really, for recovery, it's gonna take 2 to 3 years to recover from the current, unless we find a treatment tomorrow and everything goes back to normal, flights are back to normal, the whole thing is back to normal. So what's going to happen to the small businesses, that the market share for big companies, they can actually take over the market share of these small businesses. So in countries or markets that the market is really saturated, like the United States, and maybe Dubai, I'll take Dubai as an example, where the amount of restaurants are much more higher than the number of people. This is really where you will find that the big chains, they will start doing acquisitions, and the market share for these markets, for these companies will actually increase. The other part, which is what we have seen in the last 6 months, that any company that actually has a presence online, that they do trading online, or they do delivery online, or groceries online, these companies actually not only grew by a double digit, but they actually has sales record that they never have done before. Just because the behavior or the consumer behavior have changed just in the last 6 months. But one thing we have seen a lot, that the consumer who used to dine out, for example, or used to eat in restaurants, they probably still spending the same amount of money, but they have traded down from, if they used to eat in casual dining or a guest check average of $20 or $30 per person, they start going to the more of the QSR or the fast casual with the $10 online. So this is why I think companies that they have a strong presence online. I think I have a good friend of mine that used to be on my team, and he works for a company in the GCC, and he started the whole delivery piece for an ice cream company that, when you tell somebody that ice cream will be delivered, people start thinking, how do you deliver ice cream? But they actually started that before COVID-19. And what happened when COVID-19 came, this segment of the business, which is a delivery business, actually saved the company. So I think people committing is more important than vaccine and treatment. That somebody just sent the people commitment is more important than vaccine, which is absolutely true. I think to that comment I just got is how are the company's commitment for the next 14 months, which is 2021 plus December of this year. If the commitment is to stay and grow and kind of past 2021. I really believe any company today that they have the cash and they have enough money to take them through 2021 with no profitability. We're not talking about profitability here. We're talking about is anybody that has enough cash to take them through, or their cash flow is really good and in a positive way to take them through 2021. These are the companies they actually gonna see prosperity, and they're gonna see a higher success rate in 2022. But the name of the game right now is cash. If you don't have cash, or the company doesn't have cash, then these companies will struggle on the long run, and in 2021 and on the long run. And we have seen now is a lot of companies start exiting markets just because the cash situation is not that great for them. So how that reflects on individuals, how that reflects on us. And I get a lot of questions from people saying, so what do we do? I was thinking about changing jobs in 2021, or I was thinking about changing job now. What should I do? My personal advice to you is I don't advise that anybody, if you have a job today and this job is paying your salary and you're not happy with the job, I do recommend that you wait a little until probably mid-2021 or the third quarter or the fourth quarter of 2021 to make that change. Just because the market right now, while we're seeing some companies actually hiring people today, because in certain markets, certain things are happening in certain industries. But it's unsafe. The reason why I say it's unsafe to move right now, because that company you move into, unless you really understand what's happening with it and the financial situation of that company for the next 2 to 3 years, it will be a little bit risky to make that move, because you could go to that company and after 6 months or COVID hits again and the second pandemic wave will come, then you'll find yourself out of the company that you have and then go into a company that you don't know what the future will look like. So the second part, if you have a choice today to work for industry, what industry should you work for? This is very important to understand. I think in 2014, I had a live event with, I think that was my last live event with Americana Group, which in that event, I really said it could be 2014 or 15, maybe 15. And I said at that time to everyone on that day, what's your plan B? What are you doing for yourself to have a plan B? And everybody looked at me, and you know, I got a lot of criticism after the event from other people saying, why are you telling people this? Are you telling people to leave the company? I said no, but I think every single person has to have a plan B. What can you do if you leave your current industry that you're working in today and you leave your current job? Do you have a second set of skills that can take you to a different industry, different job, different position? And people said, well, we didn't really think that was going to happen. And I will tell you today, it's never too late. If you really, today, it was at that time, 2015, it was good to have second sets of skills. But today, I think Corona and COVID-19 has mandated people to have plan B. What are you doing for your plan B? Okay, and people actually listen at that time, and they start working on themselves. That could be working on themselves, you know, by improving their skills, by doing other stuff that you know, they never did before. These are the people, they actually had the courage to leave their jobs and go work for another company, and they were terrified. They were so scared because they stayed in that job for, you know, 12, 15, 20 years, and for them to leave that job and go somewhere else, they didn't know if they're gonna succeed or not. But what happened is, when they actually, because they worked on themselves and they tried to develop themselves, when they went to the second job, they actually succeeded, and they found, oh, okay, so it's not that bad. It comes with agony, it comes with pain, because comfort is really great and change is really painful. But people that really understood the change and they worked on themselves and left, they actually did very well. So today, I think we have no idea what 2021 will bring to us in terms of you know, the job market, in terms of economy, in terms of how the businesses will do. But if your industry today is something, look for industries that actually can have an impact in the future, and they will grow in the future. You know, online companies, tech companies, commodity companies, FMCG. You know, I don't think it's too far apart where, let's say, I know a lot of people on this call and this event today, restaurant people, they work in restaurants. But I don't see FMCG is a big part of restaurants. Okay, this, you actually, you know, serve customers with food. This, you manufacture food for customers. In the company that I lead at this time, I think we have seen this early this year, and we found that you know, commodity product and FMCG could have an impact where we operate, and we came up with a brand new brand for the company, which is basically focusing on producing stuff and selling it to the supermarket. And we had our first deal with Carrefour in Bahrain, for example, and we start actually doing this. So there's a lot of credit goes to Majdi and his team. He's on the call today. But these are the things that people need to start thinking about as businesses, where you can have vertical integration within the organization, thinking about new ways of products or services that I can add to my existing service and existing products that can help me when the time is down for this segment, maybe is up for that segment. So if the restaurants are down, but I have a good product and products for FMCG, that maybe will help me right now in a way that I will survive. So vertical integration for companies is really a necessity right now. And companies need to think outside of the box in these things. But vertical integration for individual, and this is a new thing. I think this is just a new expression now. Vertical integration for individual needs to happen. It's not good to have something on the side, okay? I was reading the other day online a pilot from one of the airline companies that got laid off, and been a pilot for a long time, and she's a female, by the way. She's been 10 years as a pilot, and finally she got laid off. The company let her go. So, what does she work today? And she's enjoying life, and she's enjoying her job, the new job, big time. She is a real estate agent. So now she's selling houses, and if you have that charisma and you have that sales skills, and you worked on it in the past, then when something like that happens, is actually you can find another avenue or another road to take. So don't think that the job you will have today will last forever, okay? In my time back then, 20 years ago, when we used to do a CV or resume, if I changed jobs every 2 years, 2 to 3 years, people used to say, or companies used to say, oh, he's a job hopper. He actually hops from one job to another very quickly. No, he's not going to stay. Then we probably need to, we need to look for somebody who actually stayed with the company for a long time. That wasn't my time 20 years ago or 25 years ago. Today, I think anybody that stays in the same position, let's just say it that way. If you stay in the same position for more than 3 years, companies start looking at your CV totally different. They will say, what's wrong with him? Why can he grow? Okay, so if you're growing within the same company, that's great, okay, because you're growing. But if you're not growing and you're staying in the same job for more than 3 years, doing the same thing, the perception of companies and people, and the hiring people and the recruitment people, they start saying there is something wrong with him, that he's not growing as much as we think he is. So, I'll take myself as an example. I stayed 13 years in my first job in the States. Then I stayed 7 years with Americana group in Dubai. And then I left in 2015, and from 2015 to now, I changed 3 jobs. But is it changing 3 jobs growing, or changing 3 jobs doing the same thing? So it's actually growing. So if you go where you grow, what I always say that, and people really remember that. Wagdi Sheikh saying Plan B is a must with a thumb up. So yeah, absolutely, Wajdi. I mean, you need. Ahmed Al-Hadi is asking me, can you please share when you should decide to quit? It's a great question, and this is actually was my second question that I need to go over it in the second half or the next half hour. Ahmed, thank you for the question. So go where you grow is really a saying that I've been telling a lot of people, and actually now this is my quote where people actually say it. Also, Hesham Almekkawi said, "Go where you grow," but this is absolutely true. Go where you grow. You could be in the same organization, but you grow, and that's absolutely fine. You know, you were a manager, then you were an area manager, then a district manager, then an operations manager, then a director of operations, then a COO. That's fantastic. That's all great stuff. But if you're staying in the same job, doing the same thing over and over, that will be an issue. If I go back, I said, what are the mistakes that that I have done in my career? What the mistakes I have done in my career, I think somebody just asked me that recently when I was in Bahrain. One of the team in Bahrain said, what are the mistakes that you have done in your career? And I think when I go back, the mistakes I have done in my career, that I stayed too long in the same position. If I have to go back, and as an area manager, for example, I stayed, I remember in the States as an area manager, I stayed for 6 years as an area manager. Back then was fine. But I think if I just had a plan where every 3 years, either I need to grow within or grow without. If I had that, I probably could have accelerated my career a little bit faster and a little bit quicker than, and let's say your goal is to go to director level by year whatever. If you put that goal, you know, back then, and you don't get it, you will get it. You will get to that event, to that position in that year that that you want to be. But you have to plan it. If you just go with the flow, it won't work that well. So that was one of the mistakes I actually have done in my career. And a lot of people, you know, tell me, you know, you changed jobs 3 times in the last 5 years. There is a reason for that. There is a reason that you're growing. Okay, if you're growing and you get into a job where people can actually remember, one thing I tell people all the time, and probably my team watching this, they know that the next position, they will interview you based on your last position, not 2 positions ago, not 3 positions ago. So whatever you reached a level, then your next job will be the next job of your current position. Even if you stay in that position for a year, but nobody, as a director today, you reach a director, you stayed with that company for 1 year, then nobody's gonna come and offer you an operations manager job because you already became a director. So this is a growth ladder that everybody needs to go through, and you need to have it right in front of your eyes, understanding clearly where I wanna be in that specific year, where I want to be in that specific year, and so on and so forth. Now, you could miss it by a year or 6 months or 18 months. It's fine, you are close. But don't miss it by 3 years, because then there will be an issue. You know, somebody, I think Ahmed just asked me, Ahmed Al-Hadi just asked me, what are the skills that the person should have to work on themselves? So my answer to this is it's always, we all different. We all different. What I have is different from what you have, is different from what the other person has. You all need to find how can I be good at this? Okay, so one of the things I always said on my videos and my events from before, don't look at your weakest thing and try to make it a little bit better. Work on the things that you're good at and you can be excellent in it. So if somebody today tell me, Hesham, what are your weaknesses? What are you not good at? Okay, I can tell you. I'm not good at selling. I'm not a salesperson. You can give me a pen, you can give me a phone, you tell me, sell me this, I'll tell you I don't know what to do. I'm a great negotiator, but I am not a salesperson. One, because I don't have the patience for it. I am an impatient person. I do not sell stuff, but I create stuff, but I don't sell it. And so if I today say, okay, well, this is one of my weaknesses, I need to go and work on my sales skills. Okay, okay, what is the best I will get? Half, a mediocre salesperson that can sell nothing. But if I'm good at leadership, or I'm good at leading people, if I can actually keep working on that, if my language is not that great, okay, that's a necessity. Okay, let's agree on this. If your English, for people that listening to me today, and your English is not that great, today the business language is English. The English language is the business language is English. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read some of the comments or the questions on the screen. That's why sometimes you find me distracted. But if your English is not that great and you want to continue in business, this is becoming like food and air to breathe. Food to eat and air to breathe. That's a necessity for life, right? English is a necessity for business. So don't tell me, well, I'm not good in English, I'm not gonna touch it. Then nobody will hire you, because most interviews are done in English. Even in Arabic countries, all done in English. And if you do not impress that person in that interview with your language, and he will find or she will find that you are struggling big time, you probably will not get the job. So the first step is to improve your language, because this is how you can start your plan B. Okay, a lot of people left us from the restaurant business, and they went and they worked for Emirates, for example, on airlines, and they did really well. You see, why? Because their English was good. And if you're going to be working in Emirates and a customer service, and you're going to deal with 200 nationalities, then you need to have your English good. If you don't have that good, then it will be an issue. So to answer the question of what kind of skills I should have or should work on, we are all different, okay? Find what you're good at and improve it, okay? But English is a necessity. Don't say, well, I'm not good at English, I'm not gonna do it. No, English is a necessity. If you are not good at that now, do this as a step number one. Improve your language, because, as I said, the business language is English, not French, not Arabic. Arabic is the language of the Quran, and it is the most honorable and great language on earth. But when we talk about business, English, there's a lot of terminologies and a lot of expressions in English business, or the English business, that actually has no translation in Arabic. I can give you a lot of examples of that. Vertical integration. How do you say vertical integration in Arabic? You keep thinking about it probably 1 hour until you find that expression or that translation. So I hope I answered the question on what kind of skills. You are the only one can decide, and you can, my messenger, my email, I do that for free. You can ask me, you can send me, and I will reply back to you whatever your question will be and whatever advice I can give you. So to summarize, to summarize, the business climate and what's going to happen and what I need to do, stick to your job that you have right now, and hopefully you're doing okay with it. God forbid if you lost your job or you got laid off because of the COVID and all of this. I advise you not to narrow your search now within your industry, because that's all your experience. If you're young enough, if you are 40 and younger, it's not too late to start another career and to start another, with all the experience you got from your current or previous job, you can actually apply that. But widen your choices of where should I go, and what should I do in the next 2 years. And this way, I always say that your CV says a lot about you. So make sure your CV is not 5 pages, because nobody reads 5 pages. Okay, your CV most can be 1 page or 2 pages the most. Put the things that you have accomplished and the things that you are good at, and you will find people actually looking for something, because right now CVs, when you send CVs to recruiters, there is nobody reads CVs anymore. It's what we call sizzling words in the CV, or they look for certain words, or the computer kind of scan your CV and find these words of leadership or sales or operations or stuff that they actually looking for, and then they take the CV and give it to the recruiter to read it. The recruiter has 10 seconds to read your CV, no more than that. He looks at your CV for 10 seconds. If you cannot impress him in 10 seconds, the recruiter will not. He would just pass. So spend a lot of people go to the Word document on their computer and design their CV. My friend, you want a job that will pay you some good amount of money. It's nothing wrong to spend $100 on your CV to get it done professionally. So in these days, make sure that somebody can write your CV professionally. Spend and invest that money. Don't do your CV on your computer and you think you have the best CV. That's always an advice I tell people. So 2021, unknown. Hopefully things will start loosening up in March once that vaccine. And I keep saying again and again, the economy of the world is the economy of the United States. You believe it or you don't believe it, you like it or you don't like it, this is the fact. When the stock market in the United States is up, the stock market globally is up. When the stock market is down, the stock market is down. Unless the United States starts opening again, and opening the flights, and opening businesses, and opening restaurants, and people start traveling, and people start doing their normal life, I really think that the issue will remain the same. And I'm going to give you an example. In March of this year, early when Corona happened, right before the lockdown in March, I was actually traveling. I actually traveled 4 countries the week right before the lockdown. Why? Because the US was still open. The minute the US locked, all the countries actually locked. And this was the start of the lockdown and the start of the economy to fall. So it depends on a lot of things. If the United States come back strong and the market start normalizing and flights start going back to normal, I find it very hard for people to businesses to recover and people to start going back to normal life. Second question I wanna try to answer, which is related to the first question. And people ask me, they said, okay, so I had a dinner with our team in Bahrain last month. And while we're having dinner, one of the team actually asked me that question. He said, when should I leave the company? And this is actually the same question Ahmed just asked. When should I leave the company? And I put it very simple for him. I will repeat what I told him that day. There are 4 scenarios. Remember that. There are 4 scenarios. The scenario number one is if you're doing good and the company is doing good. When I say you're doing good means you don't have a job, not that you have a job. That's not doing good. You're doing good in the company. You're achieving your KPIs. You're achieving your targets. You are recognized by the people in the company for your effort. You are growing. You're getting promoted. You're doing all of that, and the company in return is doing very well. This is, you need to stay. This is a situation where you need to stay, because people really think that if I leave this company today and I go to a different company, things will be better. Okay? Americans have a say. They said the grass is not greener on the other side. You think that if I leave this job today and I go to the other job, things will be different. Remember, they call it work, and they don't call it vacation, and they don't call it honeymoon, and they call it work. And work means problems, issues, conflicts, disagreements. Your job, you're getting paid to solve problems. So if you don't have problems, most likely you won't have a job. They won't need you anymore. So you need to really understand that if you're doing well with conflict and the company is doing well, then this is a scenario where you should keep the job. If the company is doing well and you are not doing well, that's the second scenario. If the company is doing well, but you are not doing well. And not doing well means everything that I just said, the opposite of everything I just said. You're stagnant in your position. You do not move. You do not get promoted. You probably, you have disciplinary actions. You are not achieving your KPIs. But the company is doing well. I think this is a scenario where you actually start saying, I need to go somewhere else where I can do better. Believe it or not, but I always give people this example. Work is marriage. Work is marriage between you and the company. Okay? So you can have a good marriage, or you can have a bad marriage, or you can have a marriage with no chemistry between the husband and wife. Okay? And I give that example all the time. I said, there are two people married, husband and wife, but they cannot have kids. Why? They're fine. They can have kids, but they are not having kids together. And the reason why, the chemistry probably is not right. The biological chemistry is not right. The minute they separate and they get divorced and she marries somebody else and he marries somebody else, they both have kids. But just the chemistry when they were together were not good. Exactly the same I tell people about work. It's a marriage between you and the company. Maybe the company is great and you are great, but together you're not great. So you need to think that if I leave, I can go somewhere else. Don't doubt yourself. Don't say, well, you know what? I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes to be in that business. And this is absolutely incorrect and absolutely wrong, because you have something good in you that you can have, and you can benefit other companies and other places that you probably cannot do that in your current position. So when you really think about that, if the company is doing very well, but you are not doing well, after 2021, let's just have that clear. After 2021, okay? Because if you have a job right now and you're not doing well, I think you should wait during 2021 until you see how the market will react. But in normal circumstances, we're talking about normal conditions. If the company is doing well and you're not doing well, that's probably a second scenario for you to find something else out there. If you're doing good but the company is not, this is the opposite now. You're doing very well, but the company is struggling. This is similar to the one before. The marriage is not right. You know, it has to be compatible, right? You have to work for a company that is good, a company that can support you, the company can support the business, the financial situation probably is not good, the culture is not good. It's not necessarily the company is not good because they don't have money. Sometimes the company is not good because the culture is not good. A lot of bureaucracy, a lot of politics, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of gossiping, and you're not that. You are not a person that can fit in that culture. So that's what I mean by the company is not doing well. It's not your kind of company to work for. I will give you an example. In 2015, I was doing my certification to become a life coach and an NLP practitioner. And in my group, we stayed, was a 3 weeks certification process. And in our group, I had a lady that always sat next to me. And she was miserable. And one day I asked her, I said, what's wrong? She said, I cannot stand my job anymore. I don't have another job, but I cannot stand it. I'm miserable and I'm upset. And, it's making me angry all the time. And I actually, during break, during lunch, I told her to do the exercise I tell people to do. Grab a piece of paper, divide it into half, put on the left half your current job, put on the right half, if you don't have the job, what is going to be. And just, I'm not going to go through this today, but the process is very numerical. Multiply the importance of the job times the score of the job and see how much score you'll get here and how much score you'll get there. If the score is too far and it's too big of a difference, then it's an obvious, sometimes what I call emotionalist decision. Put your emotion aside and let your brain and the logic works. When I saw her, after that, she was so happy. I said, what happened? She said, I quit my job. I actually did the exercise you told me to do, and it was not even close. And I went and I submitted my resignation the following day, and I'm the happiest person on earth. So if the company is not doing well, culturally or financially, but you as a person doing very well, achieving your KPIs, people say you're doing a great job, but you're suffering, then you probably, it's time for you to find a better culture and a better company to work for. The last scenario, what about if we both not doing well? The company's not doing well and I'm not doing well. And this is obvious. If the company's not doing well and you are not doing well, then I think it's time for you to say, okay, I think this is not for me. I need to find a place where I can be good and the company can be good as well. Now, there is no beautiful picture for work out there, okay? Unless you go work for Google or go work for Microsoft and you work from home most of the time, you don't interact with people, you have your own time, you do whatever. But if you're gonna work from 9 to 5 job or work as a manager or you work a restaurant job and all of this, there's no rosy picture out there. Things are different and people, they will never gonna be as nice as you think. Your boss is not gonna be the best all the time. You know, your peers and your colleagues and all of this, they are not going to be nice to you all the time. But this comes with the package. This is part of what we call work. That should not distract you of doing your job, doing the right thing, and staying happy and staying healthy. Because if you let the work gets to you, and you know, with all of that, and you lose that smile on your face, it's really not worth it. Okay, your family, your health, yourself is much more, and it's much more valuable to you and your family than a job that you may have it today and you don't have it tomorrow. So try to find that happy medium where you actually in the job enjoying your time during COVID, during Corona, during the worst days possible. You know, I have some of my team right here, and you know, they come and say, you know, why are you smiling all the time while, you know, things are hectic, and you know, very cool about it, and you smile, and we're going through a hard time with our sales and stuff during COVID and all of that, because it's really, if you get angry about it, you're not going to think right. If you're really not cool about it, you're going to affect your health and your family, and you're very much valuable to your family and your health. I hope you know. So, what should we do in 2021? I talked about the job. Keep your job if you have it. If you are in charge of business, minimize the cost as much as you can, because this is how you survive. This is how you can have cash to manage your business and move forward. Everybody now in business sacrifice the margin for the top line. This is not the time for profitability. 2021 and 2020 obviously is not the time for profitability. If you can have the top line to pay your bills and pay your salaries and pay your expenses, that's what you should be looking for. And I know my friend Maher Dada is on this call, and he's a huge, big marketeer. You know, this is probably the time when your really value has to kick in big time. Your food cost will rise a little bit, but you need to bring that customer who's very, very price sensitive at this time back to your brand and back to your business. On the personal side, if you have saving, don't invest it. Do not invest your money now unless you invest in something that you know for a fact that it will bring you a good return on investment. Online company, tech companies is fine. A lot of people now think, and I'm glad I remembered this, because I get questions, should I buy real estate now? Because the real estate is really down, should I buy real estate? If you're gonna buy real estate for a long-term investment, do it. If you're gonna buy real estate for short-term investment, you're gonna tie your money, or you're gonna tie your saving into a piece of property that you don't know if you can sell it if you need the money or not now, for at least for the next 3 to 5 years. But if you're buying something for a long-term investment for 5 years or more, then you probably, that's fine. You can do that. You know, invest in company, invest in yourself. Delivery and off-premise business, that's the future. This is the future for our business in general. Anybody that has no platform online and no existence online right now, he's really late, or they are really late to the game. You need to be online. Actually, right now in the States, they are testing Subway, KFC, McDonald's. They are testing seatless restaurants with no seats. They only drive through and pick up and carry out. That's it. No seats. And you can imagine that you probably 40 square meter, you will be fine with that, because I think this is the future, and this is where people actually going, and this is a trend. So delivery is very important. Focus on that as part of your business. And obviously, last thing, don't make a career move in 2021, 2022. Probably will be a much better year for all of us, inshallah. There's 5 minutes left. What about Ghost Kitchen? My friend Maher Dada just asked me, what about ghost kitchens? There are two opinions about ghost kitchens today. I just wrote an article today that totally saying ghost kitchens is not going to work, is horrible. If you don't have an actual chain behind that ghost kitchen, an actual brand behind that ghost kitchen, the cost of you introducing yourself to the market will be much higher, especially that you're going to use delivery and aggregators and 30% probably, 25 to 30%. So your net probably you start losing money because people don't know you. The other opinion, but in that article, the same article, people are saying if you have a brand behind the ghost kitchen or the dark kitchen, and you start using some of your assets that never had delivery, but you're using the brand to in certain areas, they said this is good. I think this will work. The other part, which a lot of people expect in 2021 and 2022, will be almost an explosion of ghost kitchens, and the business model of ghost kitchens in the States and here start in the GCC. So I am more with the opinion of you know, if you have a brand, then ghost kitchen will work. I really support that opinion. I think if you are an unknown brand and you want actually to just do a ghost kitchen and have 4 or 5 brands inside that little space, and you try to let people know that you exist, I really think the cost of doing this is going to be much higher than the return, and it will take that brand for 2 to 3 years for people to know, and probably will not be successful. But I think KFC, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, all of this, if they just take a very small footprint in areas where they don't exist, where the brand is very well known, and you do that, I think this is a fantastic thing, and we have done it. You remember, Maher, we have done this in the past, where we did the fill-in sometimes in small units, Delco, between 2 restaurants in a trade area, where we can actually get the spillover from different for the delivery business for these 2 units. But ghost kitchen is just like that, and I think it will work if the model, there is a brand is supporting the ghost kitchen. I'll take one more question. If it's anybody who wants to ask, we still have a minute. I want to try to actually start on time and end on time. And whatever we cannot answer today, we actually can answer next week. Hopefully next week we'll have more people. Please share the video with your friends, and hopefully we can benefit more and more people next week. Any questions? Any last questions? You're very welcome, Adil Shurbagi. Very welcome, Adil, and great to have you all. There's Abdul Ghafoor. Haven't heard from Abdul Ghafoor a long time. Good to see you, man. Hakeem, what will be the next week topic? You send me, Hakeem, what you want me to talk about. I don't have topics for this. You send me, which actually the 2 topics for today I got from people sending me. So send me the topics. It could be business, it could be life in general, it could be leadership. Send me the topics, and we will get Muhammad Fay. I haven't seen Muhammad Fay for a long time. Muhammad, great to have you, man. You know, send me what you think, and we will have a couple of topics to talk about, inshallah. Thank you very much. I love you all, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll see you next week. Take care now. Good night.